But my beats, they are hard.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap, the longest running HBCU sports talk show on the interwebs. I'm Bryan Fulford. That's A.D. Drew. Drew, I think I accurately summed up this journey that you and I have been on. Did I not?
You did, Bryan. You did.
Yeah. Good stuff. I apologize. I'm sitting here just kind of sending out the final tweet to let people know where they can find us, all those good places. So we'll say hello to everybody watching us on YouTube, the MyJBN Online, Jericho Broadcast Network's Black College Sports Network page. You might be watching us on Facebook on the Black College Sports Network or our BCSN SportsWrap page. Also, hello to everybody watching on Instagram Live and on Twitter. And yeah, good stuff. Appreciate everybody. All right. How's it going, Drew? You staying busy, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Very, very busy. It's that time of the year for SIDs and athletic educations people and everything else. It's a tough time, you know. It's that tired excitement. You're excited because it's football season, but you're tired because there's a lot of work to do, especially when you're in the solo department.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as you can see, for those of us who aren't in your line of work, it's back to school time. I know a lot of you folks who are in the Georgia, Atlanta area, you guys went back to school. And I know down here in Florida, we're starting school this week. What about other states? What's Alabama? Is Alabama back in school?
They're in school. They're in school.
Alabama's back in school. South Carolina back in school. Texas.
You got me on that one.
You know, Louisiana, Mississippi. You guys let us know. You guys who are out there, we appreciate you. We want to give a few shout outs. As you can see, I'm going to catch up to a few folks who joined the show. Some of them I'm able to add into the live chat stream. Some others got in a little early. You know, Blue Jacket for Life. I love this. Blue Jacket was in like 6 hours ago. Like I saw, I set the stream up about 11:30, Drew. Just, full disclosure for those. He chimed in 12:53. You talk about somebody who's ready for football. My dog, Blue Jacket for Life. You are ready for some football, sir. I love it. Awesome. Good to see you, Mary. Hopefully you're doing well down there in South Florida. Thank you for being a JBN subscriber. Vic checking in on Twitter. Appreciate that. Jeff Roberts checking in. Aggie Pride. Good to see Carlos Brown. The Carlos Brown Show. Another good show yesterday. Hopefully you got a chance to catch it right here on the Black College Sports Network. If you did happen to miss it, you can always go check it out on the BCSN Pod Zone. Everywhere that you download and listen to podcasts, just search BCSN Pod Zone. Walter Harley checking in from Waldorf, Maryland. What is that near, Walter? Where is Waldorf? What is that near? I have no idea where that is. Give me like closest to. Is it close to Annapolis, Baltimore?
What airport you fly out of?
Silver Springs. Good to see Chuck Hunt checking in. Edwin Moore checking in from the DFW. I know he's got to be excited, Edwin. I've seen some of those reports coming out of that Jaguar the Jaguar scrimmage. I just happened to be watching the Baton Rouge ABC affiliate. I'm not even going to divulge how I'm doing that, Drew, but I did. And, I saw some clips. What up, Lennon? Good to see Lennon chiming in, saying 35 minutes from D.C. Now, Lennon, is that south, north, east, west? I'm not up there, so I appreciate you just telling me it's 30 to 35 minutes, but what direction? Well, just curious. Appreciate you chiming in. So yeah, we got a good show for you tonight. Hopefully we're not gonna create any controversies tonight.
And hopefully we're not gonna be on here long. I don't need you falling asleep on your first day of class, Brian.
Man, look, they done did me dirty this year. I got middle schoolers and high schoolers. I got 6 classes, 1 prep. Did me dirty
Brian,
this year, though. That's all I'm gonna say.
You can keep that middle school. I did middle school. You can
I
have
got 8th graders. I got 8th graders. Now, of all the middle schoolers, of all the middle school grades that is a pain in the butt to teach, it's the 7th graders. Because the 7th graders are right when they're dealing with hormones. So the cute little girls who were nice as 6th graders, they become something as 7th graders. The boys, the nice boys.
The boys trying to get those cute little girls at the 7th grade.
Yes, all of a sudden the hormones kick in. But
the 7th grade girls don't want the 7th grade boys. They want the 9th and 10th grade boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. And don't understand, man, look. So, 8th grade is like the year where I think they mellow out a little bit. I think they mellow out a little bit. Yes, I agree. 7th grade is the worst on the spectrum because that's all I can say. 6th grade, they're so sweet. Damn, but by the time they hit 7th, oh my God, man. I just remember from my early years of teaching, I was teaching PE. 7th graders were, That's all I'm going to say. They were just, boy.
Steve just summed it up.
He did. Exactly. Even the good ones. And they were like, what happened to you? You were such a nice, and then, you just become a real mean girl. And then 8th grade, they kind of turn back to being nice again. It's like, what is, yeah, man. I don't envy it. So
I don't envy you either.
It's kind of like I see somebody said, Mary got pre-K. I don't even know what to do with them. It's just like you're trying to get them to walk in straight lines.
Color and nap time.
Yeah,
color, recess, lines. And nap time.
Can you walk in a straight line? What they call it? Bubbles and ducktails. Isn't that what they call it, Mary? Bubbles and ducktails? You got them walking around campus talking about bubbles and ducktails. No, the principal is not. No, she's not. She might be though. I gotta wonder. She might be. So look, here's what I thought we'd do on today's show, Drew. Couple things. One, we've seen the list of homecoming matchups. All the homecoming matchups are out. So I want to kind of dip our toe into looking at these homecoming matchups and just kind of say, what homecoming matchup, as you like to call it, what are the sneaky good matchups? and I almost categorize these as matchups you have no business playing. Like when we look at the schedule, and you and I both have the matrix, when we look at the schedule, we can look at it and say, why did you choose to play them when you could have played this? Because
now we're not talking about that's your only home game in the month of October situations.
Exactly. Now there's a couple of teams where that might fall into play, where you really only had one home game in October, and this was kind of what you had, right? And there are some homecoming schedules that are in November, November 1st, November 8th, but for the majority of schools, majority of schools are playing in October. So
any September homecomings?
There is actually a couple of schools that are playing in September. I found this cool little graphic via HBCU End Zone, right?
Who was that next to Johnson C?
Hold on, I've got it on the sheet. Johnson C. Oh, that's West Virginia State.
Oh, no wonder.
West Virginia State. Yeah,
I
got them on the matrix. That's West Virginia State.
That must be AI generated because that does not look like their logo.
Here we go. I'm not questioning I'm not going there. I'm not going there with questioning. Right, it might be North Carolina A&M. There you go. Oh man, I'm not questioning it this time. But yes, there are actually two schools that play before. We'll come back to that in a minute. But there are two schools who do play before October 4th. That is Johnson C. Smith, right? And they are hosting Bluefield State. And then West Virginia State is hosting Fairmont State, right? So we'll get into talking about that. Also, week 0/week 1 matchups. We'll kind of take a look at which matchups are most intriguing to start the season, as well as some interconference games. Now, Drew and I have done the math, done the numbers. We have a matchups of CIAA versus SIAC.
7 times.
Yep, as well as MEAC and SWAC.
5 times.
Yeah.
Or 4 plus 1, should I say?
What do you mean? 4 plus 1? What do you mean?
4 regular season matchups and then the Celebration Bowl.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Okay. And just to serve notice, last year the SWAC went 3-1 in only 4 matches.
Talk about the CIAA over the SIAC.
Woo. Yeah. Okay, we won't. But it's out there.
Steve will remind us. I'm
sure.
And 3, 2, 1. Is it in the chat yet?
Right. Steve will remind us. He will remind us. But here's what I thought we'd do before we get into doing all that. As I said, about everybody's in camp. There's about a week worth of information and news. Here's what I want to know. Here's what I want you guys to do. Let's go first week headlines. How would you summarize that as you guys read the local newspapers, watch the local TV news? What can you say about your team after week 1? Headline. I'll give you an example. Hold on. And we're going to do this in the old-fashioned way of putting up a banner, right? I'll start here. I'll start with Florida A&M. Headline. Let's see. Here we go. All right. This is good. Headline. Here we go. You ready, Drew? Headline. FAMU's Colsey closer to naming a QB? Question mark. Right? That's probably the big takeaway from the past week, right? FAMU has had a had a scrimmage, right? See? All right, Kerry. But yeah, all right. So again, the headline should be based off this week. Not future. I don't want future, Lennon. I don't want future headlines. Give me the headline from the first week of camp. The headline. All right, Drew, you got one? You want to throw one in there, give people a chance to digest and figure out what we're doing? You got one?
Obviously I'm gonna stick with Morehouse.
Yep.
There is competition, serious competition in every room in the football facility.
So headline: Morehouse.
People are fighting to get on the too deep chart.
How about this one? You're like this. Here, this is educational. This ties into educational. Morehouse competition in every classroom. How about that headline? Yeah, no, not feeling it. No. All right. Hey, give me a school. And again, you guys got some work on your headlines. Okay, Edwin, that's not bad. That's not bad. Here's a headline. Okay, Troy battle to a draw. Okay. I got one for Southern after watching the Carlos Brown show. No, wait a minute. I got one from Carlos Brown show, right? Jaguars have found their quarterback. Headline: Jaguars have found their quarterback, right? I think I saw the news. They seem pretty content with their quarterback. All right, stuttering new. That's not bad. New attitude on the hill. Sam Shade era begins. Okay. That's not bad. I like that.
Former SWAC head coach found on sidelines in Jacksonville.
I saw that picture. Eric Dooley apparently is on the
staff,
coaching
or
staff.
was he just a visiting professor, as we like to say?
Hey, look, do they give visiting professors swag? I know every time we come on Doc's show, you don't get swag. I don't see swag. So I think he must be working for them, because he sure enough had some EWU Tiger gear on last I saw. Oh my God, that's a little too much. You championship or bust. Good Lord. Woo. Y'all did a lot of busting over there, Steve. You might not want to throw that one out there too hard. Alcorn State kicking game ? I don't know. Listening to Charles Edmond on the Carlos Brown show, Alcorn State got some questions in the kicking game, maybe.
Speaking of kicking game, did you see the field goal, the record field goal? That's not a record field goal.
Is 70 the record? Is that a record?
It would have been if that would have been a regular season game.
Wow.
The record is 66.
And there was no win. There was no extra win on that, huh?
Yeah, 66 is the record in the league, and I think it's like 68 or 69 in college.
Doesn't he automatically make the team by kicking that? I mean, is the competition done?
He no pun intended, but he's got a leg up on the competition.
Good one. The kicker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want to put what is the hold on,
I don't know.
His name. Jaguars kicker, 70-yard field goal.
Rookie.
Cam Little. Cam Little's big kick in preseason game. How about that?
Right.
Headline.
And the crazy thing is, you probably don't even go for that 70-yard if it's not preseason. unless it's a game winner or game tying field goal.
Oh, I got another preseason headline for you.
Shador makes everyone look stupid.
Sanders lets NFL know what time it is with preseason debut. How about that? Shador Sanders looking like the quarterback that we know him to be, having seen him for 2 solid years at Jackson State and then another 2 good years at Colorado.
Bryan, I guarantee you
No surprise.
When the ratings from that game Friday night come in, that game is going to probably be higher rated than some Sunday games that we're going to watch this season.
You heard that this is what I heard. I don't know. I never read this, but I heard this said. You know that his jersey sales were the top selling. I don't know if it's over the summer or whether it was just rookies, but he had the top selling jersey so far during the summer. His Browns number 12 jersey.
Yeah.
Where pretty much like players get like a commission of their jersey sales. He's made more on his jersey sales, according to the report that I heard. He's made more in commission on jersey sales than his actual playing contract. Are you really cutting him? If you're the Browns, come on. Are you really? What happened on?
If you're who, Bryan?
The Browns. Are you really cutting
the who? The who? Who was that? What team was that again? The team that's
Browns.
had about 82 different starting quarterbacks since they've been let back into the league.
Oh, there's a headline. Gilly the Kid got banned from the Eagles locker room. Is this truth or fiction, Lennon? Or is this just hopeful prediction? You know, I'm still trying to figure out how you do a theme song to Too Short's Blow the Whistle. And Too Short never made an appearance at all during the Eagles Super Bowl run. But you got videos of everyone in Philadelphia blowing the whistle. And if you know that song, then I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? Really? The guy made an anthem off an adult entertainment song. I almost said something else. But he made a song that, you know, when Candy goes to the stage, Candy's dancing to blow the whistle. That's all I'm going to say. And somehow everyone in Philadelphia was doing the Gilly the Kid.
Bryan, that's
amazing.
You know something, when a lot of folks who don't know what that song means, you know, that's just like when you was a kid and you used to be singing all those songs riding in your mama car, and now you grown and you actually understand what those lyrics mean. I mean, perfect example, Rick James.
Okay. You going with Mary Jane?
Now that you know what he was talking about on those songs that you
Exactly.
listened to in the 70s and 80s.
I thought he was talking about the girl in the Spider-Man cartoon. I'm no lie.
Exactly.
I thought that's what he was talking about.
Exactly. Not the one you roll in a leaf.
Exactly. I thought he was talking about Peter Parker's Mary Jane. I was like, what? I was like, man, okay. Yes, exactly. You got the whole city.
Man, let's get this first break in, Bryan. But before we get to our next
good job, everybody. By the way, good job. Everybody.
You know, we like to do top fives around here, Bryan. But
we do.
I'm gonna tell you what 5 means, a different number, at least on the Division II level.
Is that a tease coming up after the break?
Yeah, coming after the break. We're gonna talk about 5 meaning something else on the Division II level.
Oh, well, there you go. Drew with a tease. We're getting ready to head to our first
professional
break.
tease.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Well done. Well done. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. Hit the thumbs up and the like button. We will be back right after this short break.
football fans. HBCU football is back in the ATL with the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina Central, and representing the SWAC, Southern, Eagles, Jaguars, the Marching Sound Machine, the Human Jukebox. The kickoff trophy is up for grabs, and bragging rights are on the line. The rivalry is real. Bring the family and join us pre-game for the fun-filled Coca-Cola fan experience, including band jamborees, food, activations, and fellowship. For tickets and information, visit MEACSWACchallenge.com.
It's like a loop machine. Going around town, trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU Sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D. here. Good stuff. Appreciate all you guys in the chat room. Good comments, good interactions. Appreciate you guys. Drew, you gave a great tease heading into the last break. What's on your mind?
Well, earlier within the last year, NCAA Division I granted a fifth year of eligibility for current college, last year's seniors. So NCAA Division II advanced a proposal last week to allow 5 seasons of eligibility, but this would be on a permanent basis. The Division I, everybody is on a 1-year basis right now. And they're waiting on some other litigation to come through before they make a final decision on whether they're going to keep that year or go back to the 4 years. And realistically, they're probably going to keep it, but Division II has already moved ahead. The Division II Executive Board sponsored 2 proposals for the 2026 convention, and that convention occurs in January, including one that will permit student athletes to participate in up to 5 seasons of competition during the first 10 semesters or 15 quarters of enrollment. Currently, Bryan, you have 8 semesters to do. You can participate in 8 semesters of your first 10 on campus on the Division II level. This would mean you would be able to actually participate in all 10 semesters. And they also sponsored a proposal that would establish a Division II Women's Bowling Championship, with a projected first championship in 2028. But let's go to the main one, which is the 5 years of eligibility. Currently, Division II athletes have 4 seasons to participate in competition in any one sport and must complete their 4 seasons during their first 10 semesters or 15 quarters of enrollment. If the proposal is adopted, Brian, in addition to permitting up to 5 seasons of competition, it would specify that any competition, regardless of timing, counts as a season of competition unless a student athlete is transferring from a non-Division II school and does not use a season according to the non-Division II school, or is a Division III transfer who is charged a season practice only under Division III legislation. It eliminates currently legislated exception waivers and exception waivers associated with seasons of competition of legislations, including current exemptions such as participation during non-championship segment and alumni game. And you know why that's huge, Brian? You know how we've always had, let's take football since it's football season, where people will play those first 3 games and then you don't see them for the rest of the year so that they can protect their year of eligibility. This gets rid of that. If you play in one of those games, it counts. So you might as well play the whole year.
I thought it was 4. Right. It was 4 in Division
No, if
you
play in the fourth, game, it counts.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah, 3 freebies under the current proposal.
So now there's.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying now there's no advantage. Disadvantage is what it is.
Yes, if you play, it counts. And also, it amends the current exemption waivers for the period of eligibility, waivers in extenuating circumstances, and except here are the exceptions: armed services, religious, foreign service, or service to the U.S. government, academic study abroad, internship, cooperative education work experience program, pregnancy, injury, illness, and Olympic training. So you can still get that red shirt if you blow your knee out. But other than that, everything else counts.
So 5 years, when does that take effect?
Well, they're going to vote on it in January.
So essentially, we could be looking at beginning in 26, 27.
Correct.
This will go into effect. Division II level.
On the Division II level.
And in Division I, you still get 4 plus 1. So explain again, what is the crossover again? How does the crossover for you go from D2 up to D1 or vice versa? You go 1 to 2.
Well, this year, because of the legislation, the temporary restraining order, they allowed the seniors who would have ran out of eligibility in 25 to be granted 1 extra year. That's only for this year right now. That has not been put into effect permanently. So anybody who played on the D2, NAIA, or JUCO level and was able to make a roster by transferring up this year has a 5th year of eligibility. Now, what I am reading into this is this may open up for people to potentially transfer down to the Division II level after playing 4 years on the Division I level. So, but if you play anywhere, NAIA, junior college, it counts. So you get 5 years. This may be a market correction for high school students also. Gives them an opportunity to potentially take a chance on a high school student. What this thing doesn't talk about is roster size. Because now you have people who would have been matriculated off of your roster staying on your roster. So how does that affect your recruiting and your because your roster limit is your roster limit. So it's going to be some interesting dynamics should this proposal go through.
Oh, man.
But that may help some of these high school kids choose the junior college route, because even if they complete 2 years of junior college, they still would get 3 years of NCAA ball.
Okay. I tell you, man. Is anybody getting a degree out there?
After 5 years, I hope like hell you do. And if you don't, if you're not walking out with your masters, you better be on track for a master's. Now, Brian, here's the thing. This 5-year proposal does not help people like Morehouse, Miles, Benedict.
Why?
Because we don't have 5-year programs. We don't have master level programs at schools like that. Or if they do, the options are limited.
Can you go double undergrad major?
You could.
Okay.
You could get a second bachelor's.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I if you don't have a master's program, I would just, go get a double major.
Yeah. So, but it is a slight disadvantage for schools who don't have a vigorous master's level program. Yeah. They have a couple. I'm not saying that they don't have any Sly. I'm just saying they don't have a vigorous amount of choices at the master's level.
All right.
Heck, I think Allen only has one master's level program, and I think that's in something like theology.
Nice. Let's take a look at some of the matchups, the interdivision. Now that we have this HBC for Us coalition, let's take a look at the matchups between the CIAA versus the SIAC, and then the SWAC and MEAC.
Did not see the interview we had with Commissioner Anthony Holloman on Thursday on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Please go back and watch it, because he dropped some knowledge about the HBC for Us coalition.
Oh, okay. Something. Well, give the elevator pitch. Give the elevator. Give a summary. Give a 1 or 2 bullet point summary. What can you?
Well, he kind of went into
tease it, but
he kind of went into the why, the philosophy, some of the things that they have been working on. How one commissioner may be doing this, other commissioners doing that, but they're all working together. He kind of explained that dynamic between the 4 conferences. And that they're all looking to help each other out, drive revenue, drive other things, including academics between the multiple conferences.
All right. Okay. So the first thing I want to, I know I see the comment already by Steve. My first issue already has to do with the different calendars that Division I and Division II have. It's confusing as it's confusing AF. Confusing AF. All right. The NCAA football season, week 0, should begin in 2 weeks on August 23rd. Okay, I don't care. For all intents and purposes, as we get into talking about this, that is week 0. Anything played the weekend of Labor Day is week 1. NCAA Division I, Division II. I'm sorry, NAIA. That is week 1. Don't come at me talking about that is week 0. No.
For D2.
No. I'm sorry. No. Here's the problem though. Steve is saying it's week 0. Everybody and their mama is playing the weekend of 8:30. How can that be week 0? Week 0 should be like everything before week 1. How can that be week 0? That is week 1. Everybody's playing. I got the matrix here. How many teams are in the SIAC? 12. 11 of the 12 teams play 8:30. 10 of the 11 CIAA teams play 8:30, or maybe 8 that weekend. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't understand who and why, but that's if I was commissioner of anything, that's the first rule I would change. Please, NCAA, let's standardize the calendar. I don't care about the rules, Steve. You can keep your D2 rules. I need D2 when they vote in January for this 5 years. I need somebody to also make a motion. I make a motion that we amend and adopt a universal calendar that mirrors Division I football. Can I get a second on that motion?
Cricket.
Okay.
Cricket.
Exactly. Okay. So 5 of the 7 games between the CIAA and the SIAC are played Labor Day weekend. My week 1, Steve and the NCAA's week 0, whatever. On Saturday, August 30th, Fayetteville State travels to Benedict. Johnson C. Smith versus Morehouse on a neutral site. Where is that game being played at, Drew?
Harvard Stadium in Boston.
Harvard. That's a large stadium. That stadium, that's a Coliseum, right? That's like
it's a
60,000 seat stadium. It's a bowl. It's like 60,000 seats though, isn't it? Anyway. And then Albany State plays Shaw, travels to Shaw. Okay. Then on Sunday, the 31st, Virginia Union takes on Miles in Canton, Ohio. The Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic, I believe is what that's dubbed. And then Steve's, the Fighting Gaithers, the Rams, take on the Fighting Drews, taking on Tuskegee. Neutral site, the Red Tails Classic. What is Tuskegee's record in the Red Tails Classic, Drew? Aren't they like 1-3 or 0-4, something like that?
As long as we don't play Fort Valley, we win.
That's the team who's owned y'all. Right.
No. Let me take that back.
I thought Johnson C.
No, as long as we don't play Coach Maurice Flowers.
Oh, that's what it is. I knew there was a catch. He's like 3-0 in that game.
3-0. Maurice Flowers is 3-0.
He's 3-0. Right. So we can confirm that Maurice Flowers is not coaching at Winston-Salem State. So there is an opportunity for Tuskegee to get a win. But okay, those are the 5 in the first weekend. And then on September 6th, which I guess this would be Steve's week 1, my week 2, Livingstone travels to Allen. And then on September 13th, Virginia Union travels to Jacksonville to take on Edward Waters. So some good matchups from the start, Drew. What game, 1 or 2 games, are you most intrigued about in this CIAA versus SIAC matchup? 7 games. Somebody's going to win the Commissioner's Cup, which I don't know. They don't have a Commissioner's Cup. They should. Battle of the CIAA versus SIAC. Somebody's got to win 4. Yes, exactly, Mike. I'm thinking of the Yale Bowl. All right, so Harvard's a little smaller. Okay, thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys. All right, so what do you got, Drew?
Obviously, I have to take out the Morehouse Johnson C. Smith game out of this discussion.
Sure.
Of the remaining games, including my alma mater, I'm going to start off with Captain Obvious. How about Albany State and Shaw?
Why is that obvious? Why is that the obvious one?
Albany State, for everything that they were supposed to be coming into last year, and then Shaw coming in and doing what they did to Albany State last year. Little did we know that this was not going to be a blip on the radar when Shaw came into Albany, Georgia, and came back and beat the Golden Rams. So that's probably one of the most intriguing matchups of all these crossover matchups, Brian, to see if Albany State can go to Shaw and seek their revenge. So that's the first game that I am going to be watching on. Because let's be real. And
Shaw,
and Steve,
what was Albany? I was going to ask just to give people context. What Shaw was preseason predicted 8th. What was Albany? I can't do that.
They were predicted top of the conference.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Yeah,
all
they
right,
were predicted number 1 last year.
Right. I just wanted
Steve,
to set
did you even have that on your bingo card?
Oh, Shaw going into
upsetting Albany. I bet you even Steve didn't have that one on the bingo card last year. So that one's number 1, Brian. Keep going down the list. Given the matriculation at Miles, I expect Virginia Union to mollywop the Golden Bears.
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The Red Tails Classic on Sunday I believe it's on the U. This one is going to be interesting because, Brian, whichever coach loses this game, I think they're going to need a bucket of ice for their tail. Because that coach is going to start the season on the hot seat, Brian.
Oh, there it is. Ding. I told somebody I was going to avoid that word over these next 2 weeks. And there it is, Drew, with this first hot seat mention of the show.
Last one of that week, Fayetteville, Benedict. That game is at Fayetteville, I believe, Brian. No, it's at Benedict.
Yes, it's at Benedict.
Fayetteville State was what we saw last year from Fayetteville State an aberration, or is this the sign of things to come with Fayetteville State being an average team? So this is this is something to be seen. And Benedict, we know they lost Coach Chennisberry. Is Benedict able to quickly correct, kind of like what Miles did when Ruffin left, and then Sam Shade came, where Benedict get back to the Mendoza line this year before going back to the top in another year? So that matchup is intriguing to me. Week 2, who did we have week 2?
Livingstone at
Allen.
And then
does not
Union
tickle my fancy at all. That game does not tickle my fancy at all. Let's see. Edward Waters, Virginia Union in Jacksonville. What time is that game, Brian? Do we know?
Why? How does that play into your thought?
Brian, you and I have both been to Duval for a mid-afternoon game in September.
Yes.
You asking a team from Virginia to come down in September.
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock afternoon heat.
Smack dab in the middle of the heat on the turf.
Sticky.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That factor alone will keep this game competitive longer than you probably would think it would be. But you do have a proven coach who's there on an interim basis at Edward Waters. So that's gonna be a measuring stick to see what to expect out of Edward Waters this upcoming year.
Let me give you another reason why Virginia Union versus Edward Waters. That's my number one game. Here's why it's interesting. Prior to that matchup, both schools will have played Miles College. Obviously, Virginia Union opens the season there against Miles in Canton, Ohio. Then Edward Waters opens up the season the following week against Miles at home. So by the time that September 13th game plays out,
we'll have good film to do a good comparison.
Both teams. So a couple of things will come to play here. One, we're going to know about Miles in the first 2 weeks of the season, right? But also, these two teams will have a film comparison to kind of look at and say, okay, how did they, and maybe that's bad or good, I don't know, but at least for us talking heads, it'll be something that we can lean on and talk about as we talk about that Union Edward Waters game to kind of say, okay, well, here's what Miles did against them. Here's what Edward Waters did against them. And then, let your creative minds do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I know one thing. They better have extra massage guns and people rubbing legs because the cramps will be galore on that day at 4:00 if it's normal September heat in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's my number one. JT, I know I was right there with you, JT, watching this golf playoff and I just need to know somebody post who actually won. I haven't. I'm hoping it was JJ Spawn. I had a ticket on JJ Spawn, 12-1 going into the day. I don't know. Am I a winner or a loser? I did not have Justin Rose, and they're interviewing him, so I don't know what that means. They interview the first loser. I don't know. Are they interviewing the winner? I have no idea yet. I'm kind of watching the TV. So JT, tell me who won. Yeah, but I'd be nice to cash that 12-1 ticket I had. Okay, game number 2.
So Bryan, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yep. Okay, you're right, Blue Jacket. Yep. See that? Yes, you're right. Edward Waters does open the season week 1. You missed me with that week 0 stuff. Doggone it, Rose won. Damn. All right. Anyway. Ugh. All right. Yeah. So Savannah State. But anyway, it doesn't underscore the fact that Miles, both teams have a shot at Miles. And so they'll see that. Damn. JJ Spawn. Unbelievable. I had second and third. I had a little on Scheffler, a little on Spawn, nothing on Rose. God bless it. I hate golf. Okay. My number 2 game, Drew. I almost want to take Virginia Union and Miles, but I'll move away from that since I'm more interested in Union and Edward Waters because both of those teams play Miles. I guess I'll go to the Winston-Salem State Tuskegee game. Just from the standpoint, the whole reason they have this Red Tails Classic is because of you, Tuskegee. You are the reason why this game was created, and you can't win this game. That's a bad sign. That's a real bad sign that you can't win this game, a classic that was dreamed of, thought of, put together, and played because of who? The Tuskegee Airmen, Red Tails, right? And you're 0-3.
No, Tuskegee has a win.
Did they get a win? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they're 1-3. My apologies, Tuskegee. My apologies. 1-3. Winston-Salem State, as Steve has said in the chats, 8 years, I think he said something like 8 years of mediocrity or below mediocrity. Some of it under the same coach. I agree, G-Boom. But I'll tell you, is Winston-Salem State for real or fugazi? I mean, we'll find out. You will put the red in Red Tails. but will your tails get handed to you is the question. They might put the red in red tails, but you also might get your tails handed to you. So that'll be interesting to see. So that's my number 2 game. If I had to make a prediction of these 7 games, Drew, and I know you can't do this, so this is me. CIAA versus SIAC. Let me see. How am I see this going? 1, 2.
Oh, I'll give my prediction. I just won't tell you which games I'm predicting.
I think CIAA wins 5-2.
I've got 4-3, but I'm unfortunately I'm leaning to the CIAA.
I got you. All right. Let's go over to those SWAC and MEAC matchups. Division I FCS matchups between the MEAC SWAC challenge, unofficial challenge, which
the season
another opportunity here for HBC for us. Come on, let's create these MEAC SWAC challenge week. I don't know why we can't just have a basketball week. I don't care if it has to, even if it's played on home turf, right? Just get together. Now that you all are meeting in one space, bring the schedulers in and say, hey, we want to do a week-long MEAC versus SWAC. 8 games, 8 MEAC games, 8 teams from the MEAC, 8 teams from the SWAC, 4 home games for SWAC schools, 4 home games for MEAC schools, 2 games on each day from Monday to Thursday. Did you watch? I'm even doing the scheduling. 2 games on Monday, 2 games on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday. Guess what? You could do this, Drew, in November, leading up to what, Drew, on Friday and Saturday. So you're not interfering with what on the weekend? Football.
It could be either the SWAC championship game or the Celebration Bowl.
Any weekend you want to do it, but hey, come on, MEAC and SWAC for us, HBC for us. Come on now. I'm giving you the recipe right there. Boom. All right. Anyway, what are the 4 plus 4 games? There are 4 regular season games. We're not counting the eventual MEAC SWAC Celebration Bowl, but that will be the 5th game. So what are the 4 games that we have leading up to that matchup?
Well, obviously, we're going to start off with the cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff between Central and Southern. That's on August 23rd, followed by the Orange Blossom Classic featuring Howard traveling to Miami to face Florida A&M on 8:30.
2 neutral site games.
Right. On 9/3, September 3rd, Bethune-Cookman travels north to Orangeburg, South Carolina to face the Bulldogs of South Carolina State.
What day is that game?
13th of September.
Oh, okay. 13th. Thank you. Okay.
Yes. And on October 11th, Central, the Eagles, will travel down south to Tallahassee to face Rattlers. And then, of course, on the 13th of December, you have the Cricket Celebration Bowl. What I find interesting about this, Brian, of the 4 matchups that we have, Central is in 2 of them. Florida A&M is in 2. And that includes where those 2 will go heads up against each other.
Yeah, exactly. You got so Florida A&M and North Carolina Central will have a say in how this all plays out, and in the fact that they even play each other will be interesting as well. I disagree with you on that one, Edwin. Come on now. You come on. The basketball season, who knows if Southern football doesn't turn out, Edwin, you may have to go to basketball by November. I'm just saying, so you better embrace it. You better embrace it, I'm just saying. Don't poo-poo it. You might be in basketball mode come November. I'm just saying.
And Bryan, of the 4 matchups between the 2 conferences, could any of these be a preview of the Cricket Celebration Bowl?
Ooh. Long odds on that one.
Because I don't think have we ever had a regular season matchup rematch in the Celebration Bowl? I'm not saying we haven't. I just don't recall one.
I don't think Lawrence says yes, we have. What's the rematch that we have had?
What year? In the same season.
Same season matchup. Not a you played them last year and then you turned around and play them the next year. I'm gonna say the odds for doing that, Drew. Let me see. Central is picked in. I wouldn't. You know what? I would go 4-1. I would go 4-1, and that's only because you do have teams that are predicted rather high. Southern and Florida A&M are both predicted to be one of the 3 or 4 teams that have a shot at getting to the SWAC championship game, which means thus they have a chance to win. And then North Carolina Central, and who's the other?
Okay, you have
Central,
North Carolina Central, Southern, Howard, FAMU.
No, I'm talking from the MEAC side.
South Carolina State.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you got 2 schools there playing 3 games. Yeah. 4-1. I would. Yeah, I wouldn't make it too high. Too higher than 4-1.
So, of the matchups that we have, the 4 matchups, which one of those could we see again in December?
You want me to? You want to do that to me, huh?
I'll throw it out there. I'll do it. Of the 4 matchups that we have, Central, Southern, Howard, Florida A&M.
Say Central.
Hold on. Let's look at this. Central and Southern, both 1 game away from Atlanta last year.
Correct.
FAMU, Howard, the Celebration Bowl participants of 2 years ago.
I don't see it happening.
I'm just wanting.
I got you.
I got this in context.
I got you.
But Bethune-Cookman and South Carolina State, don't see Bethune-Cookman getting there.
No, not at all.
Okay, and Central Florida A&M, the matchup everybody thought they should have had 2 years ago when Howard upset Central.
True.
So, with my heart, I want to see. I'm saying Central and FAMU, but of these 4 matchups, my head says Central Southern would be the most likely of these 4 that could rematch in December.
Yeah, in essence, it comes down to that: Central versus Southern or Central versus FAMU.
Same 2 I just said.
Yeah, that's essentially what it comes down to. And the beautiful part about it is that FAMU and Southern have to play each other, right? And Central
maybe twice,
right? And Central and South Carolina State have to play each other. Well, obviously, because everybody plays everybody in the MEAC. But you know what I'm saying? That's interesting. I know we didn't. This is kind of spur of the moment. Are there? I didn't look into this. Are there any D2 versus FBS matchups that perk your ears up? Maybe we should take a break. Look at the matrix and see.
Let me look at these during the break.
All right, coming up after the break.
So Brian, is the question: will we have another Clark Atlanta Bethune this year?
Correct.
And what's the most likely candidate? Is that what you're asking me?
Yes, that's what I'm asking you. Will a D2 knock off an FCS team similar to what Clark did to Bethune a year ago?
Can we take that a step further? Can we add in a NAIA knocking off a D2 just for?
I mean,
so if we're talking cross.
Well, no, I don't think an NAIA knocking off a D2 is that big a deal. I don't. I think. I mean, we when we do our rankings and our polls, we group D2 and NAIA together. Why would we distinguish there being any kind of difference?
Because there is a difference in scholarships.
All right. Well, okay. I mean, okay. So I'll let you go off if you want. If you have a game,
we got to get into this one, Brian.
Well, yes.
I'll save my opinion for after the break.
I already know it's a key buzzword, and we haven't used it all football season, but boy, it sure smells like it. If it smells like a fish, it's probably a fish.
Let's get out of here before we get ourselves in trouble.
We'll take that break and talk about it on the other side. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in a moment.
I'm returning to Clinton Paris, and Tampa's my community. I grew up here, went to school here, and my wife and I make our home here. What makes Tampa special are its people. So when I represent someone injured in my community, it's personal. Call my office and speak to a real lawyer and not some referral service. I will fight the insurance companies to get the settlement that you deserve. At the law office of Clinton Paris, we take the pain out of being heard.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Attention football fans. The Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff is back in Atlanta on August 23rd. Representing the MEAC, North Carolina Central, and representing the SWAC Southern. Join us at Center Park Stadium for a full day of tailgating, football, and bands. For more information and tickets, visit MEACSWACChallenge.com.
Welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. Bryan and A.D. here. The longest running HBCU sports talk show on the interwebs. Season number 9 for us. Yeah, that's right. We've been doing it that long. 9 seasons under our belt. So just felt like bragging a little bit. So Chip asked the question coming out of the break. Are we going to discuss the Central South Carolina State game moving to Friday? You damn Skippy. We've been talking about it, Chip. I thought we were going to save it for later in the show, but since you asked the question, we sure as heck are going to talk about it. So, in case you have been paying attention to other relevant news regarding your teams, okay, and I'm going to show this nice graphic here put together by the guys at, was it Light On Sports, right? Per FBschedules.com, right? This is their report, but the graphics come from Light On Sports. I think that's Light On Sports, isn't it? Who'd I grab it from? Yeah, Light On College Sports, okay. A Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference football game scheduled in mid-November has been moved to Friday on ESPN, according to the official website of both teams. The MEAC game will also lead into a primetime ACC football matchup that evening. Drew, can you look real quick and see who that matchup is? Because it's not listed in this article while I finish reading. The South Carolina State Bulldogs, defending MEAC champions, at North Carolina Central Eagles, the champion from 2 seasons ago, originally scheduled for Saturday, November 15th, will now be played a day earlier on Friday, November 14th, scheduled to kick off at, wait for it, 5 p.m. Eastern time. That is not a misprint. That is 5 p.m. Eastern time, when I guess a lot of people normally are coming home from work or getting off work. Normally, I guess, unless it's a holiday. Is that a holiday? Friday the 14th? I'm curious. Anyway.
No. Veterans Day is like 3 days earlier, but people going to be at work that day.
So it's not a holiday. Okay, just checking. The game will be, though, nationally televised by ESPN, the 4-letter big boy network. The 4-letter network. Like, not ESPN2, U, Ocho, Plus. No. This is ESPN. ESPN. Okay. So, yeah. Of course, this is a big-time rivalry in the MEAC. The Bulldogs defeated the Eagles last year in Orangeburg, 24-21. But the Eagles still clung on to a 1-game advantage in the overall series, 15-14. So, interesting game. So, the game that it precedes, Drew, it's an article in case you didn't have it. Precedes the Louisville Cardinals hosting the Clemson Tigers.
What was that?
Huh?
I didn't hear what you said.
I'm saying it precedes the Louisville Cardinals versus the Clemson Tigers, the ACC matchup.
Correct.
All right. So the first question that comes to mind, Drew, the things that we will.
Can I say it? Can I just go ahead and get mine out first?
Get it out. Get it out the way, Drew. Get it out the way.
The only thing that's more disrespectful than moving the potential game that decides who goes to the Celebration Bowl in the MEAC to a Friday night is the doggone start time.
Exactly. What a start time. 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's 2 o'clock on the West Coast, everybody.
It's happy hour somewhere.
It's happy hour everywhere.
5 o'clock. It's happy hour everywhere. And it just happens to fall. What is that, Drew? Again, this is the MEAC. Dare we say it, Drew?
So they sold.
It looks very what?
MEAC-ish?
Without a doubt. 100%. 100%. You are 1 week away. I mean, this game, this is the second to last week of the regular season in the conference. I mean, Central the following week travels to Morgan. South Carolina State the following week travels to Delaware State. I mean, you only play 5 conference games. I mean, is campus is going to close early, hopefully at maybe 2 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Okay, 12 o'clock. No classes after 12 or 1 o'clock on Friday. North Carolina Central. Everybody, shut it down so that way the kids can all go.
Good point,
but
Steve.
What is that? Championships have to be in Durham on the same day?
CIAA championship.
Is it really? Oh, yeah, it is. That's right. The championship. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So I don't know, okay. So I don't, Drew.
That now that Steve has put that spin on it, I'm just saying maybe
justifies it maybe a little.
No, it doesn't justify it. It gives it a little bit of thought. A little bit, Brian. They probably didn't even realize this when they did it.
That part right there.
Steve put that up.
That part right there, Drew. I want to know that anybody in this decision-making process think about the CIAA championship. I just, for the life of me,
somebody from public safety come and say, hey, one of these games need to be moved?
I just want to know. I don't.
I'll give you a perfect example, Brian. The Morehouse Tuskegee Classic happens to be scheduled in Montgomery the same day as Alabama State's homecoming. So they moved the Morehouse Tuskegee Classic to a 6 p.m. start on that same day for public safety reasons, to make sure that they had enough police, fire, and everything else coverage, because they could not do 2 afternoon games with that being Alabama State's homecoming. Don't know what that played into this decision. Thanks for bringing that up, Steve. But you got to sell me on more than that. Yeah, you wrong for that.
Look, there you go. What traffic issues? Oh, Jesus. Low blow. Yeah. Hey, actually, which game will have more people? There you go. There's the real thing, EA. Which game will have more people? The CIAA championship game in Durham on Saturday, the 15th, or this game between South Carolina State and Central moved to a Friday afternoon, thus taking the ability of South Carolina State fans to be able to travel to the game. If we set the number at, since EA said 4,000 to 5,000, we'll say 4,500. Which game will draw more than 4,500 people? If, big if. Make the all capitals on that if.
It depends on if one of those Virginia teams in this championship game.
Okay.
If you have both Virginia teams in this championship game, I'm putting over on the Friday night game.
All right. Well, congratulations to North Carolina Central and South Carolina State for getting a game on ESPN.
Brian, exposure is exposure. Even if it's only 5 people in the stands, it's exposure. But how is high school football in North Carolina? I'm just curious. Because if it's like it is in Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas, nobody's going to be at a Friday night college game anyway.
That's a playoff weekend. That's got to be a playoff weekend. High school football playoff weekend. I'm willing to bet.
In most states, you are probably right.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Before we teased.
Oh, here's my answer.
Okay. Okay. So that I'm like I said, it's big, but it is playoffs. So see, there I'm saying.
And a playoff game on a Friday night in any town, USA. Here's the question, Brian. How many high school games will outdraw both of those games?
Ooh. All right, let's go to asking the other question we had come out of the break. Division II versus FCS. Last year, of course, Clark Atlanta defeated Bethune-Cookman. Wasn't a surprise to me. I predicted it, thought it would happen, but a lot of other people were. So among the games that are out there, Drew, are there any games that catch your eye? Potential upsets by Division II schools.
Potential upsets. There really aren't a whole lot of sexy matchups. You don't have the traditional matchups that we've had in the past. Union doesn't play Hampton this year, so that would always be one that I would have on my radar as a potential upset. You still have State versus State. That's Norfolk versus Virginia, but
Virginia State at Norfolk State.
Yes.
Elizabeth City State at Hampton.
Please, Brian.
Just kidding. Just letting people know.
Miles has who did I see?
Alabama
Miles
State.
has?
Alabama
State. Yeah, and Morgan State.
Okay.
So Miles is getting 2 checks this year.
Kentucky State travels to Grambling State.
No.
Albany State travels to FAMU.
No. Although that one's going to be intriguing.
It will.
One of the greatest
Edward
quarterbacks
Waters,
in FAMU history.
A FAMU legend, Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Edward Waters travels to Bethune on the 20th of September. We all know
that one
about
now has become interesting.
It has, yes, indeed. Lane
With Jenkins there.
Alabama A&M.
No.
Oh, how about this? Fayetteville State travels to North Carolina Central.
There's your one.
Oh.
There's your one.
Bowie at Delaware State.
Nah.
No?
Nah. That's a solid number 2, but not a 1A.
Let's see. At this point, you start once you move into September, October.
And then, of course, you end the season with the Turkey Day with Tuskegee, Alabama State.
Okay. Yep. Tuskegee at Alabama State. So that's pretty much it. I don't see any other games that pop onto the radar. You mentioned NAIA. Was there an NAIA that you were thinking about, Drew?
No, I just threw it out there. Are there any NAIA matchups? I know Florida Memorial has Clark.
They have Clark. They travel. Langston travels to Grambling State to open the season.
Yes. I think those are the only 2 matchups.
Man, Grambling State has an NAIA and a D2 on the schedule. Okay.
No playoff for you.
They're not playing for a playoff anyway because they got the bye, so they might as well.
Oh yeah, they can't go to the playoffs, so they might as well stay with the HBCU
All right.
schedule.
So the two games. Okay, so to me, the most intriguing games, obviously Albany State at FAMU. Former quarterback legend comes home. The rematch, Edward Waters coach taking on Bethune. The last time Bethune was relevant
was when
he was their coach. He coached them.
Yes, Florida Memorial Clark did end in a tie last year.
Yeah, that was on the verge of being one of the greatest games that got called because of weather. Mother Nature hater, because
And
that
they
game
still put up 70 points between them.
Still, and that game got called in the middle of the third, and there were 70 points on the board. And then the number 3. I don't know what. I don't know. You guys talking about Kentucky State? I saw somebody write that in the chat. I don't know about that. I'm gonna always say the Miles, Alabama State.
Not with what I expect
Miles,
out of Miles this year.
Huh?
Not with what I expect out of Miles.
Well, hey, look at Miles' first 3 games: Virginia Union, at Edward Waters, at Alabama State. Does Miles get a win in one of those first 3 games? I mean, what if Miles is 2-1 after those 3 games? Are we looking at Miles a little differently?
No.
Even going 2-1, you're not looking at them differently?
Because I don't see him going 2-1.
Okay. I said if. Go on. All right.
Everybody, Miles has 1 returning starter on offense, 1 returning starter on defense. Everybody who was eligible out there starting 22 for those teams who had a year of eligibility is in Huntsville now, Brian.
Okay. The week of, hold on, I saw this on the schedule. The week of September 6th is the week when essentially almost everybody in the SWAC plays, and I say almost, not everybody, but almost everybody in the SWAC plays either a PWI or an FBS, with the exception of the 2 Alabama schools, Alcorn and Southern. Alabama A&M host Alcorn, and Alabama State travels to Southern. But everybody else in that conference.
Southern game is non-conference.
That's a non-conference game?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the Alabama A&M Alcorn, but I know the Alabama State is not a conference game. Let me count back for Alcorn. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's non-conference also. So neither one of those are conference matchups.
All right. But this is the rundown. You've got on September 6th. So here, watch my question here. Let me show the games, and then you tell me, and guess where I'm gonna go with the question here. Bethune travels to Miami, University of Miami. Florida A&M travels to FAU. Jackson State travels to Southern Miss. Mississippi Valley State travels to Tarleton State. UAPB travels to Central Arkansas. Grambling travels to Ohio State. Prairie View actually hosts UT Rio Grand Valley. And Texas Southern travels to California. University of California, the Bears. So you know what my question is going to be, Drew?
Who can win?
Will there be an upset?
If I'm going to lean on one, Brian, I have to lean on the team that's playing at home. And that being PV.
Yeah, but hold on. Isn't UT Rio Grand Valley, aren't they NAIA? I think they are. I don't think that counts.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I think they are a NAIA.
Jackson State at Southern Miss could be a watch game. It's G Moon says they're in the Southland.
Okay, so there's Southland. Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
That could be a game that you're going to keep your eye on in the second half.
So look, I'll keep it real with you. If Jackson State is as buttoned up, as good as they're supposed to be, you know, you guys in the chat, you guys tell me Jackson State is going to be the best thing since sliced bread this upcoming season, then shouldn't this Southern? I mean, what was Southern's Miss record last year? Wasn't it below 500?
I do believe so. Wasn't it about 3-4 years ago when they lost by a field goal to Southern Miss?
Ooh, you got me. Somebody in the chat know better than me.
That was the year when Prime had the one loss, and it was to Southern Miss going into the celebration.
No, I don't think it was Southern Miss. Wasn't that Texas State?
I thought it was Southern Miss.
Okay. If FAMU is as buttoned up as they're supposed to be, they should be able to go to FAU. FAU was like a 2 or 3 win team a year ago with a new coach. FAU has a new coach. Okay, that was ULM. That the game you're thinking of.
My bad.
Was ULM.
Okay. I knew. It was... Only because now I was just listening to a podcast and they were talking about how bad California is going to be. If Texas Southern is buttoned up, Chris Dishman, they're going to have opportunities. So, I mean, look. Let's keep it all the way 100. I mean, every time that I have gone out on a limb thinking that one of these FCS teams can knock off an average FCS school, it's never a close game. And there's usually some either dumb penalties or some bad coaching or bad playmaking that always occurs and shows itself in these matchups. So I'm hesitant to pick even my beloved Rattlers. I'm hesitant to pick one of these games and say there's an upset. But if you're as good as you're supposed to be, Jackson State and FAMU, I expect a competitive game in the fourth quarter. Is that too much to ask? Can I at least get a competitive game in the fourth quarter? Can we be within a touchdown? Both of you. So, I don't know. As we're talking about, Drew, I mean, BCU spoiling the FIU debut of Willie Simmons. Has Willie Simmons ever lost to Bethune-Cookman? I'm trying to think. Did he lose? Yes, he did. Year one. Year 1 and year 2.
Yes. And I don't think that quarterback is coaching or is playing for him at FIU, which is, I think, an instant upgrade. So yeah, Mike, I'm not seeing Bethune doing that. Not seeing that happen. Not seeing that happen. Yeah, sorry. All right, let's get into homecoming talk, Drew, as we near round the corner, getting ready to head towards home on tonight's show. Homecoming schedule came out. They are out. This graphic, courtesy of HBCU End Zone, puts together quite a few games. You know, as you can see, the schedule of games taking place in October. Primarily, October is when it gets really juicy, right? Because you've got Alabama State, Bluefield State, Fort Valley State, South Carolina State. The biggest weekend, and it may be only by a game or two. I think the biggest weekend is October 11th, where you have Alabama A&M, Alcorn State, UAPB, Central State, Delaware State, Fayetteville State, Grambling, Jackson State, Kentucky State, Lane, Langston, Morgan, and North Carolina A&T, all having football home games. The following week is pretty impressive on the 18th. Albany State, FAMU, Florida Memorial, Miles, Valley.
That's Morehouse.
Huh?
Oh, my fault.
I'm not looking at the logos. I'm just kind of.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going by the logos.
No. I was going to get to Morehouse. What did I say? Mississippi Valley State, Shaw, Morehouse, Southern, Tennessee State, Texas Southern, Winston-Salem State, Virginia Union. That's all the 18th. The 25th of October, Bethune, Clark, Hampton, Howard, Lincoln, PA, Norfolk State, Central, North Carolina Central, Prairie View, Savannah State, Virginia State. So I mean, October is a good schedule. But like I said, Drew, one of the things we want to look at is we want to say when you play these homecoming games, right? The objective of homecoming games is to do what, Drew?
Win.
You want to win. But there are some matchups that they're going to be very good games, and they actually, whether it's the storyline or they might actually have some relevance towards deciding the division or who plays in the championship game. This is a list of games that Drew, that we just affectionately call sneaky good, right? Sneaky good matchups. All right. Shout out to HBCU alum. Again, shout out to HBCU End Zone. You can follow them on Instagram for putting the graphics together, because I sure as hell didn't have time to do it. So we appreciate them for putting all this work in. But as we go through the matchups, Drew, let's analyze. Is there an opponent, like, for example, Texas Southern traveling to Grambling? That's a Western Division matchup. Was there any other possibilities for Grambling to play somebody else?
What about their matchup?
Huh? Texas Southern, right? They played Texas Southern the 11th. Well, there are no other home games for Grambling in the month of October. The only other opponent, again, there's a bye week in between the State Fair Classic. They play the State Fair Classic the last weekend of September. Then they have a bye week. And then they play homecoming Texas Southern. So it kind of works out nicely for Grambling. The only other option would have been playing Alabama A&M on November 1 or playing Bethune-Cookman on November 8th. Good move by Grambling to play this one on play homecoming on October 11th.
Well, let's back Grambling up. 2 weeks earlier, they have and I buffered, so you may have said this. They have the Red River Classic, I believe was what it's called, when they play PV in Dallas.
But it's not the State Fair Classic anymore?
State Fair Classic. I'm sorry. State Fair Classic. When they play PV in Dallas. So let's think about this. You're asking Grambling fans to possibly travel to Dallas and then come back and then pay homecoming prices 2 weeks later. I might have gone with that Alabama A&M game.
November 1. Oh, it's the 100th State Fair Classic. Appreciate you, Isaiah Wilson. Oh, that's awesome. So,
and then that November 1 should give you enough time to prepare once again for the Bayou at the end of the month.
Well, because after that homecoming, after that Alabama A&M game, they played Bethune, then they travel to Alcorn, then they bye, and then Southern.
Yeah, but
so
maybe they were looking at 1 September, 1 October, 1 November as far as big games for their fans. So I understand the theory. I just would have moved it to the Alabama A&M game to allow more of a cushion.
All right. Another game on October 11th. This one may have a bearing on who comes out of the East Division. Albany State travels to Jackson for home. Didn't Albany State beat Jackson State 2 years ago on their homecoming?
No. That's been years. That's been at least 3-4 years ago.
Well, okay.
They didn't beat them doing the prime run.
They did 2 years. Okay, so 2 years ago, but it was a close game though, wasn't it? Albany State, Jackson State 2 years ago in Jackson.
Yes, that
was a close game.
Yeah.
Are you sure Albany State? Albany State. Are you sure Alabama State didn't win that game?
It may have been TC's first year if they did.
It was TC's first year.
Yes.
I thought Alabama State won that game. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. My memory's bad.
But
the
Bryan,
alternatives,
their schedule has no choice. That's their only home game in the month of October.
Okay. Look,
and
Isaiah said it. Yes, Alabama State beat them for home. I thought they did. So okay, why would you schedule it again?
Yeah. Well, the only home game in October. Your next home game after that is November 15th.
You have a bye week. You got a bye week before that game on October 25th, Drew. You could have scheduled. Hold on. You see what I'm talking?
What game were you going to play there, though, Bryan? That's the thing.
Well, okay. I'm saying though, the alternative to saying, look, I don't know all the intricate strategies on campus. So this is just me. This is us speculating alternative, better opportunities, right? You had lost to Auburn, and I bet you what, Drew, this is probably a decision that
Alabama.
I keep saying Albany. There are probably people who make this decision that they have no idea or have any recollection that, hey, we lost to these guys 2 years ago, wrong. They probably don't give one flip about this. Okay. But
and Bryan, also on some campuses, the athletic department has nothing to do with homecoming.
I get it. So that's why I just said what I said, right? But this game, anyway, you could have had a homecoming on October 25th against Grambling State. There's a bye week in between the Alabama State game
time out,
and that
Bryan.
Grambling game.
Bryan, you're going to play Grambling State for homecoming, a game that's already going to draw?
So you're saying Alabama State is not going to draw? Is that what
I'm
you're
not saying
speculating?
But of the two, Grambling is going to draw more than Alabama State. Grambling Jackson State is going to be a bigger draw than Alabama State Jackson State.
Okay. I agree. Ram said you can't duck the smoke, Drew. Doesn't matter.
And Bryan, let's be real. It's hard in the SWAC.
It's what?
It's hard in the SWAC to, unless you get lucky and have a PV or a Valley or a Bethune, everybody else is bringing the smoke, like Steve said.
Okay. I just know they beat you 2 years ago. So That's all we're going to be talking about the week leading up to October 11th, the fact that Alabama State beat Jackson State 2 years ago. That I guarantee we're going to be talking about that till we're blue in the face. Okay.
I mean, you
the other game on October 11th.
Lynchburg or Lincoln.
What?
You always could have went out and paid Lynchburg or Lincoln to come in.
Oh, we'll talk about them two in a minute. Everybody's homecoming dish. South Carolina State traveling to North Carolina A&T. The greatest homecoming on earth might get ruined. Just telling you. Bad scheduling opportunity for now. You know, North Carolina A&T only has so many opportunities to play an HBCU, right? They could have scheduled Campbell on October 25th in front of a bye week, right? But I'm sure somebody in Grambling beat Jackson State last year. Oh, there you go. So yeah, it was either it's a tough call there. So maybe that was fresher on their mind. Good call, Kelvin. A&T, greatest. I'm making a prediction here, Drew. Greatest homecoming on earth, ruined, or Bulldogs ruin greatest homecoming on earth. Headline.
I like it.
All right. Let's go to October 18th. Loads of interesting matchups on October 18th, Drew. Loads of interesting matchups. Let's see. I'm gonna start at one, Lennon. We'll come to that in a second. Let's start in the SIAC. A couple of interesting SIAC homecoming matchups. Tuskegee travels to Albany State. Ooh. Good matchup, Drew. Albany have any alternatives? I mean,
yeah, you had Clark Atlanta the week before, the runner-up from the conference from the previous year.
Savannah State, November 1st. You could have played Savannah State.
That's a game that's going to draw on its own. So unless you were going to play an early homecoming against Allen, kind of stuck.
Okay. Clark Atlanta at Miles. Wow. I mean, again, two teams that are they both predicted? Where is Miles predicted? Two top four predicted teams. Clark number 2, Miles number 4. That's your homecoming matchup. Man, that's got to make Clark feel really good coming in to be the homecoming opponent. Little extra bulletin board material there for Clark. Rat poison, or is that just rat poison?
Teddy Keaton won't say it, but he'll figure out a way to use it.
Exactly. He said, "Oh, they wanted to schedule y'all for homecoming. They thought y'all were the Clark of 2018 or 2019 or 2021, whichever one of them years they went with.
Every year but last year.
What'd you say?
Every year but last year.
That I was gonna keep going. I was gonna keep coming out with dates. All right, Miles. What could Miles have done? Well, not much. I think that's their only home game. They could have played Kentucky State October 4th. But that game against Clark is scheduled in between a road game at Lane, a road game at Central State, and a road game at Fort Valley State. And then the only other alternative, well, no, that would have been it. So, yeah, this is kind of the only real spot unless they wanted to play Kentucky State for homecoming October 4th.
And they have played Tuskegee for homecoming before.
They have. Okay.
Yes. Which is the last game of the year for Miles. Tuskegee always play the last game of the year.
Okay. A game that I will probably be at, Alcorn at FAMU, October 18th. Now, this is the first time that Alcorn has been to Tallahassee since the 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Since maybe 84. And it's a tough scheduling spot for FAMU because the only other home game is the week before, October 11th, against North Carolina Central.
Damn sure don't want to play them.
Yeah. Now, I think because there's an expectation that I don't think Alcorn people are going to travel very well, that you can schedule Alcorn for this game. Although I have my doubts that North Carolina Central is going to travel. You know, Johnny Thornton will tell me otherwise, but I don't think Central's traveling. And the following week, they travel to Southern, and then they host Jackson State November 1. So, I mean, I remember when I saw the home schedule, it just felt like this was the spot to play Alcorn. I just felt like I had a feeling this was going to be homecoming before they even officially announced it because it just made the most sense. So I really can't complain, but Alcorn should be a competitive ball club. Should be a good one. Prairie View at Southern. Woo! I can't wait to do the numbers on schedule, toughest schedule. I just feel like Southern's got the toughest. I feel like Southern might have one of the toughest schedules this year, Drew. I haven't done the numbers yet, but I think it just feels like Southern has a tough schedule. What else could they have done? Well, the following week, FAMU comes to town, so you're definitely not going to schedule that for homecoming because that game is going to draw on its own. And that's the only other home game in October for Southern. So they were kind of stuck. Howard at Tennessee State, also October 18th. Tennessee State only gets an opportunity to play so many HBCUs. Good scheduling spot here. They got a bye week in front of it. And I think the Tennessee State alum and fans have made it quite clear that instead of they could have played Western Illinois the following week, Lindenwood November 1st. I think folks have kind of let it be known that we don't want to come to those games for homecoming. If you want us to show up, you better play an HBCU. So that's what they did.
How about the fact that this is Howard's leading game going into the MEAC season? It's the last non-conference game. Yes.
Well, everybody else is on a bye week at that. How about that? Everybody else in the MEAC is on a bye. Yes, everybody else is on a bye. You know, that paycheck hopefully is real nice for Howard. Because, man, that's tough. And that's 6 straight games for Howard towards the end of the season. Because, yeah, everybody else in the MEAC has a bye. And then, of course, you got 5 straight weeks of the MEAC season.
So Bryan, both teams will be coming off a bye on this homecoming date.
Who, Tennessee State and Howard?
Yes.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting game.
That's interesting.
Well, Howard becomes the homecoming host the following week on October 25th against Morgan State. Again, the alternatives weren't very good for Howard because the following week Howard plays North Carolina Central. We understand what that game has been like the last couple of years. Blowouts and brawls. So yeah, you definitely don't want that on. And then if I was told that well, wait a minute. Have we gotten to North Carolina Central?
No, we ain't got that. But Bryan, I will bring this out. I don't know if you're going to bring this point out. Every BAC team that's home that weekend, it's their homecoming on October 25th.
Yes.
Oregon
Howard,
State, South Carolina State, and Delaware all have homecoming on that day. I mean, Norfolk State, Howard, and Central all have homecoming on that date.
Yeah. Now, since you brought that up, I know I had highlighted there the South Carolina State at Norfolk State game, but a little interesting thing I learned, the North Carolina Central homecoming game against Delaware State, that game is actually going to be at noon. I think noon or 1 o'clock. And I think given from what one of my sources told me, given if you remember, they had some on-campus shootings that occurred during homecoming last year at North Carolina Central. I think due to some of those concerns and maybe even the year before, I don't know if they had quite the same type of issues, but I know I think the smarter minds of that university said we don't need to have a game.
You need to get everybody off campus before it get dark. Just say
before there it is. That's the best way to say that. Everybody needs to be off campus before sundown. If y'all want to go party in Durham, go party in Durham. But you need to be off campus by 6 o'clock. So a noon kickoff for homecoming. That's what you get. So,
and you don't have as much time to get inebriated before the game.
Exactly. You know, if you're day drinking or breakfast day drinking, you know, God bless you. But
breakfast, beer, the breakfast of champions.
Natty lights for and some BC powder. There you go. South Carolina State. That they're another homecoming opponent. How about this? Let me look at this. How many times is South Carolina State somebody's homecoming opponent? Let's see. They're Norfolk State's homecoming opponent. They are North Carolina A&T's homecoming opponent. Okay, just twice. Okay,
just twice.
I was just curious. Norfolk State. Lennon said I would love to be there. No lie. I would love to be there. I know my family will be there. You know, I know my aunt usually goes, and I'd love to be able to come down, bring Dad. I can't remember. I don't think Dad's been to today my parents, it's their anniversary. I don't know what you call it when one of them's not around anymore, Drew, but this is their anniversary today, August 10th, two Norfolk State grads. So yeah, I would love to be able to bring Dad down to Norfolk State for this homecoming game.
Yeah. Today's also my one of my little sister's birthday, Brian. So great day.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. August
my cousin's 10th. Birthday.
Wow. Oh man. Beautiful symmetry. August 10th. Norfolk State. This was the only time they really could have played this game. They don't have any real home games in October outside of this one. Earlier in the month is the game against Hampton, but that's at Hampton. The next week after homecoming, this is something to keep our eye on, Drew. After homecoming game, they play a short week traveling to Philadelphia for that game against Delaware State. So that's something to keep an eye on as it relates to that. So I don't know. So
which homecoming hangover will be worse? The one when you're hosting homecoming, a la Norfolk State, or the one in which you're the homecoming opponent, a la Delaware State, as they have the short week to play on a Thursday night?
Well, Delaware State doesn't get any breaks either because they got to travel to North Carolina Central the week before.
That's why I said they're a homecoming opponent one week, and then they're traveling on a short week.
I would rather travel to North Carolina Central versus being somebody's homecoming opponent.
Where they are. Delaware State. Oh,
Delaware
no, they
State,
aren't.
Yeah, they're not. They're not North Carolina Central's homecoming opponent.
Yes, they are. At least the way you have it marked, they are.
Oh, yeah, okay. No, yeah. My bad. Yeah, they are. Shit. Excuse me. Oops. That's a good one, Drew. I don't know. Call it a push. I don't know anybody has an advantage there. I think Norfolk State is home, so advantage Norfolk State. They're home. So, there you go. How about that? Speaking of homecomings, Drew, how do you like this? We always jokingly talk about homecoming games you want to win, right? These are games that sneaky good matchups, games you might lose. But how about the games that you're going to win? When you schedule Virginia Lynchburg, VUL, Virginia University of Lynchburg, part of the NCCCA.
That was 3 C's, right?
That's 3 C's. That's 3 C's, right? Yeah. Or how about Lincoln, California? Lincoln, California is very close to becoming an HBCU, given their schedule. Virginia Lynchburg, 4 consecutive weeks, they are someone's homecoming opponent. Beginning on October 11th, they are Morgan State's homecoming opponent. Then they travel to Texas to be Texas Southern's homecoming opponent. Then they travel to North Carolina to be Livingstone's homecoming opponent. Then they travel to South Carolina to be Benedict's opponent. 4 consecutive weeks from October 11th to November 1, Virginia Lynchburg homecoming opponents. And if you thought that was something, Drew, how about Lincoln, California? Sometimes you got to be clear these days because there's it's not Lincoln, PA, not Lincoln, Missouri. No, Lincoln, California.
CA, Lincoln, PA, Lincoln, Mo.
Yeah. They are 3 consecutive weeks. They are SWAC homecoming opponents. Now, I don't know. This might be worse, right? Because that means you got picked up by 3 SWAC schools, right? At least Virginia Lynchburg, they're playing. I think they got all 4 conferences, Drew. They play the MEAC.
In a row.
The SWAC, the CIAA, and the SIAC. That's pretty genius. I don't know how that happened, but it is. But Lincoln, California, on October 11th, they're Alcorn State's opponent. Then the following week, they're Mississippi Valley State's homecoming. And then October 25th, Prairie View's opponent.
Well, Brian, they'll get very used to that Jackson Airport in Jackson, Mississippi, because they'll fly into Jackson for both the Alcorn and the Valley game probably, and then bus to those 2 respective campuses.
What are the chances? Now, you've heard about NFL teams doing this. What are the chances that they just kind of stay in that region? Can you take your classes remotely? Can you just kind of stay in that area?
Do they even have a building to take classes in person, Brian?
Look, if it's remote, I'd get the hotel and just take remote classes.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hotel rooms, though, Brian.
So it's cheaper just to fly back and forth. Because they're not
busing.
Flying
commercial or are you flying charter?
No, God, charter? Really? What kind of program do you think this is? They're probably flying commercial.
And probably nobody has pre-TSA.
I don't know. Kelvin said wow. He said they bus down and stay in the air. Oh,
that's what, like a 2-day bus ride from California, from Oakland?
Jesus. Man, that's asking student athletes to do a lot. Motel 6. Jesus, help me.
Crook, you wrong.
That's a tough ask.
There you go. Yeah, Brian. Do an Airbnb.
Some mobile homes.
Yeah. Airbnb, mobile home Airbnbs. Hey, Brian, how about this?
Mm-hmm.
How about Lynchburg actually has 2 home games this year?
Yes, I saw that on the schedule. I don't know who those
where
teams
they're
are.
play them at, but they're gonna play them. They're gonna host them.
I mean, they could probably rent out a high school field. We've seen Edward Waters used to do that back in the day. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I thought we'd throw that, just kind of look at homecoming matchups. Anybody's homecoming that you guys out there are looking at attending outside of your school, your own? Are you even going to your own homecoming? So, all right.
I'll be attending the Spellhouse homecoming, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, save me a seat.
Better get there early.
Oh, yeah. What makes, William says JSU has the best homecoming. William, what makes JSU's homecoming the best? Summarize it in a sentence if you can. You know, don't call yourself the greatest homecoming on earth and really don't have anything to stand behind to prove it. Now, I've never been to Southern, but I've heard about the Southern tailgating. I know FAMU has the day party in Wanish Way.
Tuskegee has its tailgate in the shed.
Oh yeah. I've been to Tuskegee homecoming. That's unbelievable. Yeah, but one of these days we'll have to do a homecoming tour. And that's hard to do. I don't know.
Yeah, especially when you got like 10 of them at the same time.
I know. Jeez, yeah. Good luck.
And all of them, if you're not there 6 o'clock in the morning, you're probably not getting in. Thank you, Jeff. You hit it on the head.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to right there. Everybody's homecoming is the best because it's homecoming.
Have you ever been to a bad homecoming? Has anybody ever been to a bad homecoming?
Nope. I would imagine one that got, I hate to say, but if there was some violence that took place, that'd probably be a bad homecoming.
I mean, we talked about the exception, but when you actually go to the game, has there ever really been a bad homecoming? You know, we're not talking, who was that last year? Morgan and I think Bowie had the incident last year.
You talking about in the game?
No. You remember they had somebody canceled their homecoming last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was Bowie. Canceled their homecoming last year.
Yeah, they did. Now that I think about it, I think that was Bowie.
Yeah. Outside of some crazy stuff happening like that, have you ever been to a bad homecoming?
Nope. Not one.
We talk about HBCU crook.
EA. I got my credentials, EA. My credentials in the AD suite. They're in the mail, I'm sure. Bad homecoming are the ones that you don't hear about. Yep. Well, I missed the joke on that. What is that? Was that Kanye? They had Kanye there? Doesn't he do the Sunday service thing?
Is Kanye allowed on HBCU campuses anymore?
Did he do anything worse than R. Kelly or P. Diddy? I mean, is he banned? Is he on the cancel list?
Everybody's canceled right now.
Huh?
I say everybody's canceled right now, Brian.
Oh, okay. All right,
he's
Drew.
talking about Kanye.
Oh, okay. Let's get ready to shut it down. Unless you got anything else you wanted to get off your chest, man. I may actually just fall into bed about 11 o'clock. I got to start getting up I already get up early, but I got to start leaving my house.
You just can't lay in the bed anymore.
I just can't lay in the bed or play video games on my phone anymore for an hour. I can't do that anymore.
Yeah. MEACSWACchallenge.com. If you have not purchased your tickets and you plan on going, and if you are not going to go, make sure you tune in to ABC or stream it on your mobile device.
Well said. Looking forward to it. Next week is the show that I love, where we do the guessing lines, win totals, season win totals. I'm gonna have to call up Jamie Walker. I know he should be able to do something from his sitting chair. You know, Jamie's not very mobile these days. So Jamie Walker should be able to join the show from his couch. We'll have to talk to him about that. But usually
if not, tell him to mail in his prediction.
Yeah, we might. Yeah. So next week, predictions, season win total predictions. I always kind of like doing that show. We kind of look at where we were right, where we were wrong. If there was a market for these kind of things. Again. What did you say, Drew?
I'll win the challenge again.
Yeah, you won the last 2 years. You won the last 2 years. Every year we've done this thing. I don't understand what that's all about. But
Brian, you said it last week. Facts over feelings.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Well, we'll see. Appreciate it, Mary. Adrian, really? Is that what you're predicting? Yikes. Yeah. Okay. If you get that right, man, just go ahead and I forgot what city you're in, Adrian, but head to the casinos. You get that right.
Or head to the 7-Eleven and buy a ticket.
Right. You guys are funny. All right. That's going to do it for tonight's show. You guys do us a favor. Please go ahead and hit the thumbs up and the like button if you would for us. It's extremely helpful with the algorithm and all that good stuff. Download the podcast on the BCSN Pod Zone. Available on your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast. Do us a favor, subscribe. Then go ahead and give it a rating. And, if you feel like reviewing it, go ahead and do that as well. But voted the best HBCU sports podcast because of those of you who take the time to subscribe and listen. All of the shows that are part of the Black College Sports Network. A show that we just recently added to the BCSN Pod Zone stream, She Say Sports. We finally added that show. Miss Sonia is now, almost said Sonia's last name wrong, so I'm going to bow out. But I know Sonia is her first name. She Say Sports. Get a woman's perspective on the latest happenings, some good interviews, great commentary. So that show you can start to find on the BCSN Pod Zone every week. I think new episodes are every Friday. So that adds another show to the weekly, almost a new show a week. And I think Brave Talk is coming back with Charles Edmond, usually on Monday. So I'm telling you, Drew, we're getting to the point where we're dropping at least a new show every week. So please make sure that when you subscribe, you turn on your notifications on those podcasting platforms. So that way you get the notifications. Yes. Sonia Stamps. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck. I knew it, but I didn't want to say Stills because Stills is the commissioner. And I knew it was an S, and it was just the alliteration had me thrown off for a second. But see, Chuck is a podcast subscriber. I know that, Chuck. Appreciate you, Chuck. You got to be, because you knew that better than me. Okay, guys, that's going to do it. Drew, last words as we close.
See y'all in Atlanta in 13 days.
Amen. Have a great week, everybody. For those of us heading back to school, God bless us. Stay safe on the roads. Watch out for the kids. Watch out for the school buses. Don't be crazy. Make sure to leave a little bit early because traffic is about to pick up again. So you might want to add another 15 minutes onto your trip to work because traffic is about to start picking up a little bit different starting on Monday.
And I'm glad you said school buses, Brian. I've got to say this as somebody who drove the yellow school buses there for a while when I was in education at that level. When those yellow lights come on that bus, slow down. When the red lights and that sign go out, that does not mean step on the gas. There may be some kindergartner or pre-K kid who's out there by himself because mommy and daddy had to go to work.
That's crazy.
Early in the morning.
That's crazy if that's happening.
And he may not be paying attention.
That's crazy. If that's happening.
So slow down. I'm telling you from experience, Brian.
Wow. Scary.
Slow down.
Let
those buses do what they do. Let these babies get to and from school safely. Thank you, baby. Just slow down. 15 seconds. It takes 15 seconds to load the bus if everybody's there.
Yep.
15 seconds. Or because if they catch you on those cameras, and a lot of these, let me tell y'all a secret. A lot of these buses have cameras front and back with tag readers on them. You don't want one of them tickets in the mail.
No, you don't.
And last thing, slow down in those school zones also. During those hours. Like Brian said, leave early. Let's let these babies get to school and from school safely. They already doing enough to take stuff away from our education. Don't contribute to the cause.
Well said. Thank you for watching tonight's show. Have a great week. God bless everybody, and we'll see you right back here next Sunday night for the BCSN Sports Wrap. Peace out.